It's 2018 and everyone gets a podcast. Mine is the Hardy Boys Drinkbook. Each week, I sit down with hilarious and creative people to talk about a book in the Hardy Boys mystery series. Thanks for tuning in, detectives. Now let's get back to part 2 of the Hardy Boys Drinkbook number 12, Footprints Under the Window, featuring Jack Wefso. After they get the run of the place and this guy gets arrested and he says, I've been framed for having this little micro camera, then they just do a recap chapter.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
They just sort of stand around and talk about all the plots.
Which was good because I needed it.
Yeah, I had taken some breaks.
Yeah.
Reading it.
Yeah.
And sort of tied together all of the missing people, the strange Huelin immigrants who are looking around town and all these different groups of people and Mr. North and all stuff.
They notice the laundry truck like many times at Micro Eye, coming and going and being stopped and inspected. They really like that laundry truck.
Yes, they talk a lot about it. Yeah. Gertie becomes certain that she saw Mr. Ricardo in town.
Like
who was
Ricky Ricardo?
The guy from the trip that she met, who made such an impression on her, Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah.
And then the boys look down on the beach. They're like, let's try to find another shell that's clearly got a secret message in it, like that last shell that guy freaked out about.
Which is another one of those moments where like they're sitting there being like, oh, so what next? What next? And Joe's like, what do you think would happen if we went down to that seashell beach again?
And like
looked
around. Well, we'd probably find another note.
Let's go there.
And so they go there and do that.
Yeah.
And they find a note. And then Sandy shows up and freaks out because the shell...
He told them not to do this.
And the shell has no note in it. So he immediately does the dumbest thing ever. Because it's supposed to be where he gets the secret notes from Mr. North, right? Or to deliver to Mr. North.
Yeah, it's got... These seashells have folded up piece of paper in them that are going to be delivered. They're messages that are delivered to Mr. North.
From somebody.
It's a message!
Joe cried as Frank held up the paper from the seashell.
Well, what does it say?
Chet asked eagerly. Frank read the handwritten message aloud.
To Huelas. Finally got something. Santilla, Colombo.
Joe jumped at the first words.
The Huela Islands! But what could Santilla and Colombo mean?
Frank murmured.
They're not the names Gomez inquired about at the immigration office. Wait, you like Gomez Adams?
No. Oh, get down! And then Sandy comes. And Sandy...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So he freaks out, and then when he doesn't find it, he immediately, goes and gets in a car.
Yeah.
And drives away. And they're like, wait a second, this guy doesn't live on that beach.
There he goes, Joe cried out.
That's a jazzy wagon for a beachcomber to own. He must get good money for his seashell pickups.
That's right. And then doesn't he go...
Straight to Orrin North's
Directly
house.
to Orrin North's house.
His mansion.
Yeah.
And Orrin North yells, "You fool! I told you never to come here." That was like day one stuff.
Well, what do you think happens, Orrin North, when you hire a crazy guy who lives on a sandy beach and calls himself Sandy?
Well, just bring me the notes. What if they don't show up? They will.
Just sprint directly to my mansion. Make sure someone follows you. So then...
they want to find out now who Santilla and Colombo are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're finally going to South America, right? It's like they're almost there.
I think so. Let's see. They have the note analyzed. They report back to Mr. Dykeman and tell them what they saw about Orrin North and
will
Sandy.
They ever fucking leave? Go!
I know we are running out of pages here.
Yeah, we're 108 pages into the book. They haven't gone to South America yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Frustrated. It's so frustrating. But they get to the airport, they get on a plane, they fly to South America, and the plane is fine. And when
Make it the whole way there.
Yeah, they fall asleep, and they wake up, and they see jungles. Wow, Chet's eyes flew open. Jungles! And I wrote, cool. And they're in the Huelas, and they can recognize the footprint islands from the plane.
That big one must be
Barredo. But this is cool. I'm suddenly excited. Mm-hmm. We're in a new environment. The Hardy Boys are in the jungle. Yep. And it's jungle. It gets cool.
Jack banked inland over dense jungle broken only by twisting brown rivers. There seemed to be no sign of life. When the Cayenne airfield came into view, the bay porters fastened their seatbelts. There was a wait while a jet from the United States landed, and then Jack touched down and brought his craft to a smooth stop. Joe pushed open the cabin door and caught his breath. It was like stepping into an oven. Chet grimaced.
I feel like a broiled hamburger already.
Which is great because right before they left, their last meal before they left, Aunt Gertrude cooked them sizzling hamburgers.
And French fries and everything.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So
that was nice of her. And then they were like...
As soon as they get out of the plane, though, a woman's shrill cry startled the boys.
Oh, that's right.
Frank wheeled around to see 2 ill-dressed, swarthy men break out of the crowd, each carrying a blue suitcase. "Help! Help! Thief! Joe, they've stolen that woman's luggage!" Like lightning, the Hardys tore after the thieves. And then an officer fires warning shots at them.
Yeah, because
they're in a communist country now.
Right, and they're just like white people who got off a plane and then sprinted at some people.
Yeah.
Like, whoa!
It's like getting off the Air Koryo flight in Pyongyang and just sprinting across the tarmac.
Which you think their first reaction would be like, wait, what is he doing?
Well, but better shoot him.
Yeah, we'll find out later.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird. The police judged them to be natives. The men who stole the...
That's right.
They decide they were natives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these guys just basically, again, with the luggage, they sprint into the jungle. Bad guys just keep sprinting into the forest.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. They have nice fruity drinks.
Joe gets hit on the head.
Oh, with what?
During the pursuit. The thieves skirted around the control tower and ran across the airfield. Frank and Joe soon outdistanced the pursuing policemen, but the thieves reached the end of the runway and in a moment disappeared into the jungle.
Come on!
Joe plunged into the thick growth. The next instant he felt a crashing blow on his head, toppled over, and lay half-stunned.
Okay, monsieur?
Joe, are you all right? The policeman and Frank's voices pierced a ringing blackness. Groggy, Joe was helped to his feet.
Yeah, so he gets busted over the head, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So that's 2 Hardy Boys with head injuries.
This is something a trick that the Hardy Boys haven't quite figured out yet. The crooks run into the woods. Then they stop and crouch. The Hardy Boys run into the woods and run past the crooks. Then the crooks stand up and whack the Hardy Boys on the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Hardy Boys don't learn their lesson.
Yeah, that's true. That happens too often. Not just in this book.
The amount of times I'm like, guys, just don't chase them.
Yeah.
Like, play
Go
cool.
to the victim. Go to the victim and be like, what can you tell me?
Right.
You know, which is what they do next.
Yes.
Later, the boys and police officers spoke with the victims of the robbery, a middle-aged American couple named Griffin. Mr. Griffin could not add much to the thieves' description, except that he judged them to be natives. All right, Griffin. You mean they're darker skinned than you?
Yes, natives.
Yeah.
They find out that Mr. Martin, the guy whose coat got ripped, who had the celluloid, has been missing, and that nobody knows where he is.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And he was taken into the jungle, but nobody knows like where he could be.
Oh, and now they're trying to find Mr. Martin.
That's their whole thing now.
Right.
Is they're like, well, we were going to try to find that guy and find out if he was the spy.
And figure out what he knows and then kind of chase that lead.
But now that he's missing, our whole thing is we have to find Mr. Martin. I like this. They said, I already tell everybody. He just disappear. Poof. And not pay his bill either.
Oh.
But then, yeah, they look around this.
They see an interesting animal.
Yeah, a water buffalo.
Yeah,
apparently is hauling things around, and then they're like, and then Chet says, if he takes to land, I'll take to water. And then they're like, haha, there are piranhas in the water.
Flesh devouring. Chet's eyes bulged. Yeah, not to mention
centipedes, poisonous snakes, scorpions, and crocodiles in the jungle. Frank added somberly.
Doesn't sound like that was very somber.
No, you're right. Not to mention centipedes, poisonous snakes, scorpions, and crocodiles in the jungle.
Wow.
Anyway, welcome to South America.
Yeah. So, night, Chet.
Hope you have fun. They find a chunk of Mr. Raymond's raincoat when they're in the jungle.
Yeah, well, they find his raincoat at one of the stalls.
That's right, Le Fleuve.
But it's missing that little piece that was torn off that they found the microphone in. So they know that Raymond Martin made it to
South
Cayenne.
America. Right.
Yeah.
And then a guy offers to take them down the river to where they think that Mr.
to Coatman.
To Coatman.
That's what he calls him.
Yeah. And that one's pretty cool. They get in this like little tiny dugout boat, and they go down the Amazon River, or I guess maybe not the Amazon, but they go down a river into the Cayenne River.
Yeah.
Deep into the jungle.
Yeah. And this is like, again, like finally we're here. Like this was some really cool stuff.
Yeah, presently they passed a clearing of thatch-roofed Indian huts. Further along, several native women were beating laundry with flat sticks at the waterside. After a while, the only sound was the chatter of birds from the depth of the jungle. Something in the primeval stillness prompted the boys to speak in whispers.
It's like another world,
Joe said in awe. Yeah, flamingos, crocodiles.
Yeah, they start painting these really beautiful like pictures.
Enormous
of the jungle.
mangrove trees arched overhead, blocking out the sun. Gnarled vines hung in tangling loops. The travelers ducked low as low-hanging branches tore at their shirts and faces.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
They come around a corner and they find a
The guide's like, we're here. We found it. We are here.
And they find a fucking skeleton.
A skeleton.
That's just like hanging from a tree. It's clearly been like pinned up.
Yeah, exactly.
As they reach forward, like they're going to check it and see.
Oh, I loved this.
It's so classic 80s movie scary.
It's so great.
Right as they go to touch the skeleton, a giant centipede slithers out of the eye socket.
Yeah!
And they just go, bleh, and Chet yells, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Oh, my God.
And then Frank is like, this can't be Raymond Martin. These are old. This is like a year-old skeleton. Look how the grass has grown around it, and nobody's...
Yeah.
And then they're like, this isn't Coat Man to the guide. And the guide's like, I don't...
He's like, I don't know. What do you want? We call him Coat Man.
That's where the coat came from.
The crazy thing about that is I didn't buy it from Frank, first of all, that he immediately knows how long this body has been decomposing. But then I do buy it when it's not about the bones. He's like, the grass has grown up in between like the rib cage and stuff like that. That's what tells me, it's old. Because before that, I'm like, oh, come on, Frank.
It's like the equator.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have no idea what these flesh-devouring insects are and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like the opposite of, and this is a bit of a tangent, but it's like the opposite of, like, I remember seeing this documentary on probably Discovery or something like that, and it was about Antarctica, and it was about, like, creatures in, like, at the South Pole in those temperature extremes that die in, like, decomposition, right? Yeah. And so they find, at one point, they're walking along, and they find a dead, like, rotting penguin. Yeah. Right? And the scientist says to the host, like, okay, so here's a dead penguin. You can see, like, it's got some little bit of feathers and flesh still and some bones there. And the person is like, so how long do you think this penguin has been here? And the guy looks at it and he's like, well, it's like half decomposed and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm going to guess like maybe like 6 months or like a year. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, no, it's way, way, way too cold for bacteria and any of that stuff. So, like, all the rotting that you're seeing is, like, straight decomposition.
It's from the inside out.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, okay, so how old is this dead penguin? And she's like, I would estimate, like, 40,000 years. And you're like...
Oh, it's mummified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of the same direction of that. Yeah, exactly. Opposite of that. Yeah.
So, then they decide that Mr. Martin's probably still alive.
Yeah. Well, he ain't this skeleton, so...
Yeah, but, like, he's still probably dead.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I assumed he was dead. Oh, then they go home to go to sleep after this whole thing. And this is awful. This is what happens. In the middle of the night, Chet wakes up because there's something furry on his foot.
Oh, that's right.
And they throw on the light, and there's a vampire bat that's trying to drink...
That's drinking his blood.
Yeah. They don't think it broke the skin. They said there's no blood, so he's fine.
Oh, yeah. But they also give him some crap about not predicting a storm.
But I wrote, like, holy fuck, scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of a vampire, bat.
Bat. And I can't believe that
man, that's all I need. He got into bed and wrapped himself tightly in the sheets.
Yeah, well, maybe check to see if there's not any other vampire bats in those sheets before you wrap
He's never going to sleep again. No. He just wanted to go on a trip.
Yeah, exactly.
He's covered in mosquito bites. He saw
on his face. They specify he's covered in mosquito bites on his face.
He's broiling like a hamburger. He saw a skeleton with a giant centipede in it.
And it's like, I've always thought that like there was something about human faces that mosquitoes avoid. Because like I've gone into incredibly...
Oh, but they're the worst. If you've ever gotten one.
I guess that's true, but I just never have. And I've been covered in mosquito bites before, but not my face.
Yeah, well, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
They... decide they're going to go out to Barredo, but it's a true dictatorship.
Yeah, exactly. Barredo is a totally different country
than French Guiana.
Yeah, with an island dictator,
and they're only allowed there for 24 hours, and then they have to leave before sundown.
Yeah, exactly. You have to sign in, probably because there's no electricity on the island.
And they don't want people to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Impressive public buildings fronted the harbor, but in town, boys saw rows of tottering, unpainted shacks along unpaved roads. Shabbily dressed people walking past dingy stores, many of which appeared to be closed.
The atmosphere was both tense and depressing.
Boy, this place gives me the willies, Chet murmured as he noticed a gray uniformed man watching them from one of the few cars.
Yeah, like, this is like, I mean, so do you think we might be in 1950s Cuba?
Yeah. I think maybe. Or any number of South or Central American
communist countries.
Communist
impressive public buildings, people living in shacks. Like, yeah, all of this. It's one of those things where, like, there's a moment coming up later where people start talking about how, like, well, it might not just be Barreto. It might be
all of these islands, all the Huela Islands.
Or maybe they're working with I don't know. It's like, it's a communist island nation like Cuba. Well, they might be working for a large country that has opposition to the United States. You mean like Russia? Well, like a big country.
Like a big foreign antagonistic country. And then they do the worst spy work ever. They literally walk around the main plaza being like, Colombo! Santia!
Just the two whitest New Yorkers you have ever met in your life.
Gomez!
Just like wandering around.
Colombo, Santia, Gomez?
Yeah.
Colombo, Santia, Gomez?
Yeah, again, that would be like me like walking around Pyongyang being like, Kim Jong-un! or Hwang Chol-san?
Yeah, exactly. Why is he saying the name of the foreign minister over and over again? He's shouting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's arrest them.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they're just... Chet whistled shakily as they nonchalantly left the marketplace. I love this. The boys noticed another man in a gray uniform striding past. He eyed the boys suspiciously. They immediately pretended to be sightseeing.
Just taking some photographs of these. Not taking photographs, just looking at these expensive public buildings.
Officer, Colombo, Santia, Gomez? Do you know these men?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah. That would I just keep
and then they follow some guys. Oh, they see the thieves that stole the bags. They see the thieves that stole the bags of the lady.
Because the thieves that stole the bags of the lady are following them around.
Oh, that's right.
And then they notice they're being followed and basically the reverse follow, I think.
Okay, anyway, they basically follow them around. They ask some people about it. But do they get kidnapped out to the like secret rebel base? Because it's super cool.
Oh, yeah, that's
when
right.
When they finally go out there. Oh, yeah, they go to the Gate of Doom. That's what it is. When they follow these thieves.
Oh, yeah, because we're starting to get into, like, the most basic Spanish you are ever going to get. Where, first of all...
La Puerta de la Muerte.
Yeah. Edificio Administración de las Huelas. Huelas government building?
Oh, yeah. You're learning Spanish.
Yep.
The boys are actually pretty respectful of the Spanish language.
Yeah, they really are.
They speak some Spanish. Mm-hmm. They seem to not look down on people who speak
right, exactly. They don't like refer to it as like mumbo jumbo or something like
voodoo music.
Yeah.
But they follow them out to this. It's an abandoned jungle prison colony that, as a concession to the people, the communist dictator shut down this jungle prison colony.
But it was a mine, right? It was a prison mine.
Prison mine. That's right, in the middle of the jungle.
Because I remember as they walk up, I have it highlighted here.
Because it's bauxite.
Oh yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, where it's like, it looks like an old bauxite deposit. Frank whispered. I was like, really, Frank? Like specifically bauxite? How can you tell?
Good eye.
Yeah, Frank's got an eye for them minerals.
Wonder what happened to the workers.
You think that'd be Chet's area of expertise? He'd be on like a geology kick.
Book 8. He would have been
he'd be like, oh, that's bauxite. You can tell because it's box-like.
But just like an abandoned prison mine colony.
That's so cool.
In the middle of the jungle.
And
it's all of these identical like stone homes that are facing a center plaza with a guillotine in it.
Oh, that's right. That's like some straight up Congo shit.
Yeah, yeah. And then they get surrounded by all these revolutionaries with ammo belts,
right,
and guns. And then they think they're being walked to the.
Oh, and then this is another one.
They think that they're soldiers of Dictator Posada,
right?
But they're
well. And I also wrote here. So this is another video game moment. They advanced cautiously, catching occasional glimpses through the foliage of the encircling wall. Lonely bird caws echoed around the deserted compound. The air hung hot and still. Pickaxes and broken machetes littered the ground. Looking up, the boys saw several ugly vultures hunched in the trees. Now, I have played enough Uncharted.
Oh yeah, to know
that like I'm coming into like this empty, abandoned.
I'm about to get like fired at.
Yeah, exactly. There's these convenient half walls everywhere for me to hide behind,
right.
And like lots of like just random ammo drops kind of scattered around the town
square.
There's
a large stone wall that encircles the area that you know you're not going to be able to get outside of.
Right, exactly. I'm like, like any second I'm going to get 2 grenades and then I'm going to just have to open fire. Yeah.
Right. It's not quite that bad. They get
No.
surrounded by these revolutionaries, and they think that they're being walked up to the guillotine, but then they get walked past
Right past it. In one of those, like, oh, fuck you.
Come on, you could have at least put them up there.
Yeah.
But they get surrounded by these...
That would have been awesome, actually. If the commander had put them on, like, put them in the guillotine or, like, in the stockade, or I guess I was imagining a gallows. I don't know why, but, like, yeah, put them on the gallows, put the nooses around their necks, and then interrogate them.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh, man, that would have been awesome.
High stakes, but nope.
Not quite. That didn't quite happen.
Basically, they get tied up and then asked, like, why are you asking about Colombo, Cynthia, and Gomez?
Yeah, what are you idiots doing?
And they find out that those guys are there. Carlos Cynthia and Miguel Colombo.
They're like, actually, that's us.
And they ask if they're under orders from Dictator Posada, and they're like, no, that guy's a traitor and a monster. We're the revolutionaries. We're the good guys. The tyrant robber of our people? Yeah. We of the underground will unseat him one day. The men roared approval. Frank shot a look of relief at Joe and Chet. An underground movement. They were among friends. Colombo and Cynthia then shook the boys' hands cordially.
I am sorry for your unpleasant reception,
said Colombo.
But we have always to be careful.
Then you thought we might be working for Posada?
Frank asked. Cynthia nodded.
One is always afraid these days in the Huelas. That is why the lips are closed in this town. If Posada knew we meet here, he would send his army to crush us. Okay, well, the Hardys just led his army directly
to you.
Directly
they wandered around town shouting your
names of the revolutionaries who were trying to bring down the government.
Then they went into the
jungle.
They
just kind of wandered into the woods.
and found the place. You need a better layer.
Yeah.
It was walking distance from town.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure that, like telling all of your people, like, no, not only do we have this underground movement where we're going to take them down, but we meet in the abandoned prison mine. People are like, right. That's cool.
But right outside of town?
Yeah, but like it's an abandoned mine.
No, cool, but that's great because I can drop my kid off at soccer and then I can get
well, right maybe there. don't go right there because people might follow you from soccer. But it is we're looking at a different place.
I'm just saying it sounds cool.
Maybe
we'll keep it.
Oh my god, yeah, it's true. It's not the best hiding. It's a cool hiding place. It's not the best hiding place.
No. Yeah, I called it the kick-ass abandoned jungle prison mine.
Yeah. It is. It's a video game set. It's a great set
super
piece.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then they find out that Mr. North, the guy that they think is the bad guy, has been working with the revolutionaries, helping them.
Oh, that's right.
Helping them get their. He's been like allowing them to use his ship to get illegal immigrants into the country.
Right.
To escape this government. And you're like, oh. And I actually thought for just a half second, I was like, oh my God.
Red herring?
Was Mr. North this jerk the whole time? Was he actually going to turn out to be like
the hero?
No, the reason why he's been such a jerk is because his butt is on the line and he's got all these people's lives at stake.
Yeah, he's Oscar Schindler.
He's trying to get them out. But then 1 page later, Frank is like...
1 page. The last 1 page.
Frank says, have you heard from any of the refugees since they escaped? Frank asked. No. For a while we thought it was because Posada's mail censorship, but now...
Colombo added gloomily,
I am not so sure.
The Hardys and Chet exchanged looks. Their suspicions of Orrin North were confirmed.
North is double-crossing you,
Joe burst out. I wrote in my margin, no shit.
Yeah, because for a second, though, I was like, oh, that's an interesting, but I like that they're like, no, he acted like a jerk. He is a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't buy it for a second, Charles. I'm surprised that I was not duped, and you were duped.
Because
I immediately
was
like, no.
Desperate.
You're so desperate. Just for any sort of variety.
Anything.
Any type of change.
And the fact that they wouldn't have allowed it, because it doesn't even seem like a real big surprise to be like, oh, the shipping magnate was working for the government.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder he's a jerk. He's got to keep it all secret and everything. Yeah. No wonder he wanted them to report directly to him and not go to the police.
Well, the revolutionaries let them leave, and they say, we're going to go back. They eat a dinner of rations of bread and dried beef for supper.
Once they find out that they have, as I wrote in my margins, they have now entered into the realm of human trafficking.
Right.
Big league.
Big league human trafficking.
They're in the big league stuff now.
Good for them.
Yeah.
They're really moving on up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they decide, then they're like, let's go home. Oh, yeah, that's right. So Posada may be behind these suitcase thefts and maybe selling the smuggled information to a major power hostile to the United States.
You mean like Russia?
Like Russia. Now they're going back to Bayport. 30 pages. They were in this awesome new environment doing crazy cool new
That's
stuff.
on the cover. That's on the environment that's on the cover.
Out
of
of
the book.
180 pages, 30
pages on the
30 pages.
It's the 30 best pages of the book. I mean, you can give it that. But like, wait a minute. Have they explained to us the crazy luggage scam yet?
Okay, so the luggage scam is this. Spies.
But have they explained that to us?
It gets explained. I don't remember the whole details. It's in several different sections, so I'm just going to simplify it.
Okay.
There is this company. Is this what we've already known about the laundries?
Yeah. Well, no, that gets revealed, and that's because it gets monologued at the end.
Basically, the point is the crooks sew the stolen information into the clothes and luggage of people who are traveling to Cayenne. When those people arrive in Cayenne, they are immediately robbed of their luggage or of their clothing, so that the data that was hidden inside of it can be stolen.
Right. Yeah. So
I think that's sort of clever. That's like a TV show clever thing, that like NCIS episode.
It's NCIS clever,
like
which is not clever.
Monk's like, oh, it's sewn in under their coat. That's why his coat was stolen.
Yeah. Okay, except that it's not like they have contacts that are specifically transporting this stuff, which is why they had to break into the travel agent's office.
And if they're able
to get the itineraries,
but also if they're able to send the information of which people to rob, why can't they just send the spy information?
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, this just seems like a extremely unreliable way to move goods and information. Like, they're like, okay, so this is how
sewing it into.
So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to take some pictures. Like, here's one way.
And what if I'm like messing around with my
this?
And like there's something in the lining of mine, and I like scritch, and I pull it out.
I'm like, that's weird. There's a film canister in here.
Oh my god! It's from Micro Eye.
Yeah, I got to take this right to the police. Yeah,
exactly.
It's just such a flawed plan. Whereas, like, okay, here's one plan where it's like, well, I'm going to sneak a camera into Micro Eye and I'm going to snap these pictures, and then I'm going to have a secret dark room in my own frickin' basement that nobody knows about, where I'm going to develop these pictures. Then I'm going to, like, maybe I'm literally making this up on the spot, Charles. Then I'm going to buy Bayport newspapers. And in between the pages of the newspapers, I'm going to file in the developed 8x10 photographs.
Then I'm going to use those newspapers to pack in,
to like pack like a
key sets.
Yeah,
and then
key set or a lamp or something like that.
And
I'm going to ship them. And I'm going to ship them to Huela Islands, right?
It's not inside the lamp. It's inside the.
It's inside the newspaper that's like bundled around the thing, right? Exactly.
Better.
They go right there. Now there's the one plan. Now here's another plan. I'm going to take some pictures. And then I'm going to take the roll of film, and I am going to identify strangers who are traveling to a place that is kind of near where I would like these pictures to end up.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to surreptitiously slip this roll of film into that person's luggage. Then I'm going to hope that they don't cancel their trip, choose different luggage, stop at a different place.
Not bring that particular clothes.
The airlines or the transportation company isn't going to lose or misplace the luggage.
All have to go perfectly.
Perfectly according to then I'm going to assume that the people at the other end who are just and again, I don't think that they are getting like specific clues of what luggage. This is like a J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys
plan,
like where they just walk in and they just pull things off the baggage carousel and they walk out like it belongs to them.
Right.
So like then you have to guess that like not only am I going to do these things, but I'm going to hope that the thieves are there at the time that this plane lands, that they catch this particular piece of luggage.
So what is the plan? You say like I'm going to hide stuff in the luggage of redheaded people. It's always going to be redhead.
Exactly.
So if you see a redhead, show up at Cayenne, rob them.
Exactly. Like, the whole time I'm like, this plan doesn't make sense.
More than most.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, we're getting near the end. Let's check in with Bingo one more time.
Yeah. So
animal for sure.
Oh, yeah, the vampire bat.
Oh, and water buffaloes and
there's lots of those things.
Flamingos.
No red herring.
The boys definitely left Bayport.
Oh, yeah, they did. Plane ride where nothing happens?
Yeah.
But nothing bad happens.
No.
Yep. No secret codes, no
Don't
new
see
vehicles.
any disguises yet.
Okay, so
they're back in Bayport.
Mm-hmm.
They follow Gomez. Where do they see Gomez? So
this is
one thing just to jump back. They say that the papers are full of Posada's villainous threats, and my brain actually read that as
The papers are full of Posada's villainous tweets.
Oh, yeah, because that's where we are. Also, in a communist dictatorship, the papers would not be full of his villainous threats.
I think they would other papers, like the international papers are full.
Because like Posada's papers talk about how great Posada is and how great the local projects and renewals are going.
Literacy is at 99%.
Right, exactly, and about how like the U.S. president is a dotard.
A dotard.
Yeah.
Word of the year. So yeah, but anyway, once they get back, they end up chasing Gomez.
Yeah, all right. Now, I'm going to kind of page through this because a whole bunch of stuff happens really, really quick.
Right when they get home.
As soon as they get back. First, I'm right there. Papers are full of Posada's villainous threats. Mrs. Hardy is not coming back for a while. Still no clue as to where their dad is. He's been missing this entire book.
Yes.
And wasn't he missing the entire last book, too?
Yeah, they were camping in Maine.
He's been going missing a lot.
They were camping in Maine in the last one.
They go back to Mr. Dykeman. They give him an update on everything that's happened.
They go out to Micro I to meet Mr. Dykeman.
That's right. At the Micro I gate, they're quickly admitted, escorted. Okay. For some reason, I have here, Mr. Dykeman says, "Glad to see you back. Mr. Wayne's report of your theory about spy smuggling secrets in luggage may break our case wide open." And I said, "You mean Bruce Wayne?"
Bruce Wayne?
He's a master spy.
They find out that the camera, that's what it is. They're like, well, it's not a big deal anymore because the camera they were going to steal is all finished. It's done today.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, and it's going to be just fine. And then they realize that, like, oh, wait, the crooks have been hiding as laundry people, and they see the laundry truck leave, and they're like, oh, my God, they have the camera. That's what it is that everybody thinks the camera's fine. And then don't they find out that the camera...
Well, first, I got it because I just have some notes here. You can cut this if you want to. And this is when he says, he gives him the reveal that the camera's finished. "Price may be our man," he admitted, "though I'm not convinced of it. At any rate, we've reached the home stretch. Micro Eye's satellite camera was completed this morning." In the margin I wrote, "Rocket launch?" Because it's a satellite camera.
Yeah.
And then the project was finished. Frank and Joe were elated. The top secret instrument was to be moved under heavy protection to Washington late the following day. Not Cape Canaveral?
No,
not Kennedy Space Center?
Nope, Washington.
Yeah, well, I guess it wouldn't have been Kennedy Space Center because this is the 50s.
Yeah, well, but still, I mean... Okay, when Jules Verne wrote From Earth to the Moon, he did the math and figured out where you would want to put a space station or a space launch platform in the United States.
Yeah.
And he picked Florida.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, because he was like, I think either Florida or Texas. Those are the two places in the United States where you could possibly launch something that would have the highest chance of getting outside of the gravitational pull.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if he was able to do that math in the late 1800s and figure out Florida or
and
Texas.
Doppler radar was invented in 1842.
Which we now know. But yeah,
Right.
So this is what happens, though, is that they just decide, they find out that the camera's done, and then they just randomly go back out to that development that the guys hacked.
Yeah, that's right.
Chet just convinces them, because we got all the stuff repaired, come back out to Oak Meadows.
Dad says Mr. Preto's men finished and left after supper tonight, Chet said as they rattled along in his jalopy. Occupancy in a week.
It was dusk when the boys reached Oak Hollow. They parked and got out to survey the houses at close range. The hacked doors and windows and broken windows had been completely replaced.
Great. And then they see Gomez lurking around. Just sort of lurking around.
Gomez Adams?
I guess. Just Gomez. Gomez was the guy who jumped off the boat that they saved at the beginning.
We gotta find some Latin names. Turn on the television.
John Aston? Wasn't John Aston Gomez?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, they chase him, and there's a cemetery all of a sudden that's right next to Oak Hollow.
Yeah.
So they run into... so he runs into a tomb, and Chet says, that tomb up there, the door is opening.
This is where I wrote, Chet has been through real life hell and back, but he is afraid of ghosts and dead people.
Just dead people.
Like you've been in a place, like literally a vampire bat tried to suck your blood. And you're like,
2 days ago.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not going to go in that tomb.
Okay, everybody's got to have boundaries,
That's fine.
guess.
Yeah, that's great.
So they go in this tomb, they hide out, they listen to the crooks, basically walk through. They find a lair with a bunch of Spanish newspapers, and it's clearly
yeah, that's right.
But then they listen to a suave, accented voice. Good evening, gentlemen. Everyone accounted for? Bueno, let's begin. It's Bedoya's voice. Anyway,
and Bedoya is actually
Gomez?
No, it's Mr. Ricardo.
Mr. Ricardo. Everybody's
So
got
it's
two
not
names.
Ricky Ricardo. It's Mr. Bedoya, who's probably from like Love Boat or something, and I don't remember it.
So they walk through all of this, like their entire plot.
Right.
They just basically do the standard.
And
Hardy
they're
Boys
in the
criminal thing.
North family tomb. They find
Yeah.
out too.
Oh yeah, because they see
Orrin
Thomas
North's
North
family
or
tomb.
John North.
James North.
Yeah. Then Frank can't stop staring at this one guy that they're spying on, who looks so familiar and his voice is so super familiar.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was wrong because I thought it's Fenton. They like recognize his voice.
Oh yeah,
and so I was like,
sure.
it's going to turn out to be Fenton
be their dad.
undercover.
Yeah.
But it's not. He just suddenly he's like, oh, I imagine if he was wearing a mustache, it's that guard that told us to scram from Micro Eye. So they had a man on the inside.
So like, was Frank just like staring at this guy, being like, "That's not it"? Now I'm gonna imagine him with a giant prosthetic nose,
What if he had glasses? What if he had a cowboy hat?
unibrow,
Mustache.
suspenders,
Different mustache.
That's the mustache.
Oh
my gosh, I figured it out.
Yeah, so they wait. Finally, the guys leave, and they run out of the cemetery being like, now's the time to go. But then they get locked in the tomb.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah,
That's
because
pretty
they're
cool.
about to leave, and then they
I'm
hear
like-
footprints coming back, and they have to head back towards the tomb to try and not be discovered. But as soon as they go inside the tomb,
Yeah,
I'm like, well, this isn't a real tomb.
No.
Like, it's going to have a secret exit.
Yeah.
Because I just got back, and this is a...
Tangent, but tangents are great.
but I just got back from just a little 4-day weekend trip in New Orleans, and we visited a cemetery in New Orleans because
Sure.
it's
Gotta do it.
Yeah, and the cemeteries in New Orleans, all of the bodies are above ground because you can't put bodies in the ground there because if there's a
Sea
flood,
level.
they
Yeah.
all come back out. So I have just right before this book spent a lot of time looking at tombs, and tombs are like 8 feet by 8 feet.
Yeah.
They're tiny, right? They're like, they're not even like a little hut or shed.
No,
right?
you have to be very wealthy and have a big, like, old estuary tomb.
Yeah, and like it's a good thing there for dead people because there's not a lot of room to move around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially when you're cramming 60-some people in.
Yeah, exactly. So, so as soon as like they all walk into the tomb and are like standing in it, I'm immediately like, well, not a real tomb then. You know what I mean? Because
Like the Orrin family crypt.
yeah, exactly.
crypt.
Yeah, if it's a crypt, I buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just call
but
it
like a tomb, tomb.
They get out of the tomb, but immediately get knocked out and tied up.
Yep.
And they wake up.
Wait, they do? The
Yeah.
boys get tied up?
They do.
All
yeah.
right.
Because
Oh, that's right.
they wake up. Joe revived. His arms were bound tightly behind his back. He felt the steady throb of a motor and a rocking motion. As a splash of water hit his face, he sat up, but fell down as a strong gust of salty wind hit him. Joe now realized he was in the stern of a boat moving at top speed through the darkness. Also, super cool. They wake up on the deck of Mr. North's yacht.
The surf's like crashing around them.
They're
and,
being
like,
driven out to the shipwreck that
Oh,
they were
yeah,
at
that's
earlier.
right.
And then they're hauled into the shipwreck, and it's a boat that's half under the water, half out of the water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And as
such
they're-
a great set piece.
As they're drug into it, they
this is like a
realize
George Lucas moment.
that 8 men and 3 women, who all are Latin American, are wrists and ankles bound and exhausted, and they like look up all week, and they're being kept captive in a shipwreck.
Oh, that's right.
But the tide's coming in because it's sort of near like the shore.
Yeah.
And the boys get thrown into a room that's like has a hull break, so the room is filling with water.
yeah.
They're in a death trap, and
Yeah.
I love death traps.
Oh my god, it's so great. Like they spend some time before that. They get thrown into the cell with all the Huelan like captives,
and they're like,
the refugees.
those were the screams we heard. It was
Yeah,
these
it wasn't
screaming
ghosts.
people.
It was screaming people who have been human trafficked and then locked in here.
Yeah,
it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he's like, you almost wrecked my refugee business. Business, Joe retorted. You mean kidnapping and treason?
Yeah.
Well, business.
Yeah. What's your motive in this spy game, North? Frank asked coolly. Let's just say money. And I wrote, good motive.
Pretty standard.
So, yeah, pretty prime. It's the most popular motive.
Yeah, for all kinds of crimes.
And then love is second.
Yeah, and it turns out that North is just a monster.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
So-
not even just a bad guy who's like trying to keep immigrants
He's a
out.
traditional Hardy Boys, like Lex Luthor level psychopath.
Psychopath. He's
Yeah.
a criminal human trafficker.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the shell clues, but they tell him all about how, like...
North went on, boasting that leaving messages in the seashells had been his idea, because how if not by monologue?
Freaking idiot.
How if not by monologue are you going to explain the end of this story?
Yeah, Bedoya says something like, Bedoya cracked the writing crop again close to Frank's face. You are very inquisitive, but I can afford to tell you.
Yeah.
Stop telling them stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Bedoya's got this writing crop, and at one point later, this is at the bottom of 162, Chet nervously watched as Bedoya leaned against the desk and fingered the writing crop.
Yeah, people finger the muzzles of their guns. There's a lot of fingering going on. What I think is so great, one of my favorite things about this whole mystery is the big reveal about how these guys snuck into Micro Eye. They had these...
It is the most insanely...
stupid.
Yeah, because so for our listeners, we're coming up on the end here.
Yes. This is the big reveal.
Yeah, this is actually technically before the boys get locked in the vault. This is the monologue where all of the villains are revealing their plan, and then they're like, after this, we're going to shut you in this thing and drown you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's go through this ridiculous plan of how this underground group stole the plans.
The criminals... dress as laundrymen, and they get they not only dress as laundrymen, they start a laundry company.
And this is a long game.
And then they get a contract with Micro Eye to do all their in-house laundry.
How many times did they have to do that bid, do you think? Like, how many times were like, oh, God, Bayport Laundromat got it again.
Do you think that they maybe came in and just radically undercut it? And then they're like, we can't afford to do this. Like, we can't pay for all this detergent out of pocket. And they're like, no, it's a long game.
Stop. It's not an actual laundromat business.
No, but we are going to
have We're going to lose money on this. No, we're not. We are being financed by a large government with intentions hostile to the United States.
I'm just saying that they'll say they'll reimburse us, but I'm the one who has to upfront the money for the detergent.
Look, I guarantee
this is
you,
Russia,
the large country we are talking about is good for a couple of bottles of detergent.
It's a drum. It's for an entire factory.
Okay, well, first of all, we're going to need more than one drum.
Yeah, but it's like $800 a drum.
I'm telling you.
In the 50s.
$800 is small potatoes compared to the satellite camera.
I'm just saying I don't have the money on hand.
All right. We're gonna arrange something. I'll tell you what. We're gonna do homemade detergent for a while. We're not actually washing their clothes. They don't have to be clean.
Yes, they do. Because if we're
gonna lose the contract if they don't.
Just goes on. I think what they end up doing is that they end up taking all the clothes to Bayport Laundry, and Bayport Laundry does them anyway, and they're like...
And then they're like, why does this laundry truck, Incorporated Laundries...
Just put it on our bill.
On our tab.
On our tab.
Like, this tab is huge.
It's like our... honestly, this tab is like the size of our old Micro Eye contract.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the company that got that contract again? Anyway.
Yeah.
So then they sneak in as laundrymen, and then they have brilliant thing where they turn their jumpsuits inside out, and then they're exactly security guard jumpsuits.
Yeah, what was it? I started to put a bunch
reversible.
I started to put a bunch of notes in here. Let's see.
They call it Our Little Miracle, and then they turn the white jacket and trousers inside out. The boys gasped. They were identical to a Micro Eye's guard uniform.
Yeah, I love too when they're explaining like, no, we got a contract through the laundry. Corporated Laundries, Frank exclaimed. So that's how Raker took photos inside the plant. But the maintenance building is isolated. Where did Raker suddenly get a guard's uniform? And I wrote, from the fucking laundry, maybe? Yeah,
they didn't need to reverse their clothes.
They didn't need to. They literally have a truck full of all the clothes that they need.
They got a contract and then went up and picked up a bunch of disguises.
I know, right? They're like, all right, what do we really need to make this work? We need access to all of the uniforms.
And then I love this. The rest is easy, but Bedoya continued. Raker dons a mustache and forged badge, and then he is let out of the maintenance episode. I'm like, why did Raker demand on wearing a fake mustache? Because
they're like, don't do the mustache. Because everybody's just going to be like, why is that guy wearing a fake mustache?
It looks fake. What if it falls off?
I know, right? Like, and as a professional actor, I've worn a lot of fake mustaches in my life. They fall off. They fall off like 15 minutes after you put them on. And that's with like professional level spirit gum. Yeah. They just start to peel at the corners. Like, they just...
That's why I've always thought when Robin or like any of the superheroes who wear domino masks that like they constantly be like flapping down over their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because like I did your another show where you don't realize it until you wear a domino mask, but your eyelids sweat a lot.
Yeah. Well, they get thrown into this locked room and it's filling with water. Chet's thrown in there too. And
wait. I'm still on this laundry scam.
Oh, come on. What else is?
Because there's another person. That's the thing. It's not just the two of them. Simple, he began. Raker rides with Gale, also one of our men, in the truck to Micro-Eye. Raker sits in the back with the clean laundry. And then they're admitted to the gate guards. And then comes the little miracle you talked about, the reversible thing. Dons the mustache, the forged badge. He's let out at the maintenance building by Gale. Next, he walks to the main plant. Dykeman's guard-shifting plan help, so Raker goes about unsuspected with a miniature camera. Then he returns to the maintenance building, and Gale sneaks him back into the truck, where he once more reverses the uniform. But Frank interrupted. The gate has logged in 2 laundry employees in the truck. If Gale handles the laundry alone, won't the guards that are watching be suspicious? Oh, well, Gale doesn't work alone, Bedoya said smugly. Since our laundrymen collect and deliver regularly at the maintenance building, the gate guards do not inspect the bundles. Inside of which is another spy, Joe. So they take somebody bundled in with them. I wrote, wait, why? Why another spy? If there's 3 of them, why does Raker have to change clothes at all? Don't they have guard uniforms? Can't like one of them be the guard and the other 2 are the why all the switcheroos and change?
Because it's more fun.
Yeah, it's so that you by the end of it can't track the plot anymore. Yeah, I guess is why.
That seems like the whole point of these mysteries is like let's see if we can lose the audience.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when we catch them again at the end, they'll feel like they've solved a mystery.
All right.
So they're thrown in this. They're locked in this little room that's filling with water because the tide's coming in. And a rat swims by Chet's face, which is covered. He's choking on a mouthful of salt water. His face is still covered in mosquito bites.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just like, oh God, poor Chet. They find a hole, and I'm like, you're not gonna. And he's like, grab a pipe, I'll bash open this hole. And I'm like, you're not gonna be able to.
What are you talking about? With what momentum and like
you're underwater, and you're
just
gonna
like swinging a pole.
It's not going. Ping. So they all swim down to help.
Yep.
And then they realize that somebody outside.
Oh, when the furry rodent swam past Chet, I just wrote in the margins because fuck Chet.
Right. They're trapped underwater and like a
I don't know, like something horrible happens to Chet, like a rat runs on his face.
Yeah, and then there's like somebody ripping open the planks from the outside of the ship, which is called the Atlantis. Yeah. And I was like, yay, it's Fenton. And then I was like, Dad, Frank, Joe. And I was like, no shit. Of course it's Fenton.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
Really?
I was not expecting.
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was the refugees. Like, I thought they had, like, broken out and were, like, popping them back.
Oh, that would be way better.
Yeah, totally.
Than Deus Ex Fentina.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I just wrote, fucking close call, Fenton.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you wait until the death moment?
Right. Dad, Frank, Joe. Fenton Hardy grasped his son's hand and climbed up. He wore old, torn clothes. Dad, how? Where? The well-built canine detective was equally amazed at seeing his sons. Catching his breath, he explained, I spotted Orrin North's yacht out here an hour ago from a motorboat I'd rented and swam to the Atlantis. Are you all right?
Wait.
What? So you were just like, well, I got home from Bayport on like whatever thing I am. Not much to do.
I thought you were deep undercover.
I think I'll go rent a motorboat for the afternoon. Just like to rent a motorboat. I know my boys have the sleuth, and they would not mind if I took it, but I'm going to rent a motorboat instead.
Go out onto the bay. Hey, look, it's the Atlantis.
Maybe I'll cruise over there.
I'm going to swim over there.
Maybe I'll dive off my ship and swim underneath the Atlantis, see if anybody's banging around trying to get... Why? What? Why? What?
This is part of my Fenton Hardy is running a criminal underground.
Totally,
that like he was working with North, and it's him on the deck of the ship being like,
and
I don't
North's
care.
Like, don't worry, those boys are never going to get out of the predicament.
Those are my boys. And he's like, yeah, and it's him being like, you've gone too far, North.
Exactly. He probably punched North in the jaw, broke his jaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Dived off. He's like, I don't give a fuck about these refugees, but my boys are going to drown.
Yeah, exactly.
And he saved them. But then they don't ask any questions at all.
Nope.
I don't know. It seems like that should be the end for some reason. But there's one last boat chase to do. And I'm going to go through this pretty quick.
Yeah.
They go back to Micro-Eye. The place is covered in smoke, and they heard that these people had smoke bombs. So when they get back, they're like, smoke bombs!
Yeah.
And a laundryman is escaping with a laundry bag, and they're like, the satellite camera must be in that laundry
there.
bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, like, I'm sorry, but have you seen, like, 50s satellite cameras? They're the size
that
of,
thing was like a
Volkswagen.
semi-trailer. Yeah, exactly. It's in that bundle.
Anyway, it's absolutely amazing. They chase this guy. They tackle some people. There's machetes. They get on a boat. There's a massive boat chase onto the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They're about to crash it, and eventually they get surrounded by the Coast Guard, and the Hardy Boys save the day. But there has to be
Wait. Because this is
last.
Yeah, it's like
boat
we're in
chase.
the last 2 pages. Yeah, it's the last boat chase. Frank was forced to turn aside. The Northerly resumed course for the trawler. Suddenly, they came a thunderous boom. The Hardys looked south at a rising patch of smoke. 2 sleek gray cutters with forward guns were advancing full steam. The Coast Guard! I wrote, with guns?
Hey, in a previous book, they thought it was the Coast Guard, but then someone threw a grenade into another boat, and they were like, ooh, the Coast Guard wouldn't do that.
Coast Guard probably wouldn't throw a live grenade into another boat. Yeah.
But they do have forward guns. Yeah, and then the ship that they were trying to escape to escapes, and everyone gets caught.
They toss the camera overboard during the boat chase.
But then Joe just
fishes it out. As soon as it goes in the water, it's like, splash. I wrote in the margins, ruined. That's a 1950s satellite camera. Minute it hit the ocean spray on the boat, it was like, oh, actually, that thing's destroyed forever.
Also, the moment it hit the water, it sank like a frickin' stone. There's no way,
it's
Joe.
It's surrounded in like sopping wet laundry. Like,
get it, Joe? No, Joe's
like, no, that's
deal.
gone.
Joe is Aquaman.
But then Dykeman reports that the smoke bombs caused little damage to Micro Eye. No one has been injured. Mm-hmm. But the confusion did allow that phony guard Raker to take the camera.
But anyway, they get the camera back.
Captain Byrne and the Dorado crew have been apprehended in South America and then promptly bribed their way out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because it's South America.
It's the Huelas.
Yeah. Let's hope the spy's failure puts a big dent in Posada's power, Frank said. By the way, that fishing trawler... Does it just get away?
I'm afraid so,
Mr. Hardy replied.
But empty-handed at least. Authorities believe the vessel belongs to a large anti-American country.
Like Russia?
And as you and Joe suspected, that Posada did plan to trade the satellite camera for money and arms. I didn't know Mr. Posada had no arms. That makes him a much more compelling character.
Exactly. Oh, man.
An armless dictator?
An armless dictator? That would have been...
It's amazing he can keep power. But then they're like, well... There's only one unsolved mystery. The footprints under the window. Both at our house and at North. Mr. Hardy burst into hearty laughter. Remember, you weren't the only sleuths around here. Oh, that's right. That's right. Fenton Hardy was been sneaking around.
He's been around Bayport the entire damn time.
Nothing
at all. No, I wrote that multiple times. Like he missed everything. At one point, he's like, "Yes, I did stay here so that I could monitor the North's activities."
To crack this spy plot, it was important that no one knew I was in town. The stolen papers were part of a dossier on North, which I had helped pick up.
What? He missed everything, right? It's like,
where were you?
I also like this, because we're on the last pages here. Chet was still puzzled by the theft of Iola's shopping bag. This was in that bag steal mix-up.
We don't care, Chet.
He says, I can explain that, Mr. Dykeman said. When your dry cleaning was left at Corporated Laundries, Bedoya's spies mistakenly sewed the film into your clothing. They confused Morton for Martin, so Valdez had to get them back. And I'm like, I am surprised that this plan worked even one time.
I am even get the names
right. I am surprised that even one delivery, given all of the crazy complicated crap.
No, it's like the first time that it happened. They were like, oh my God, it worked.
Holy crap. Well,
Well, so, the last, I want to finish up with the last.
Yeah, we got to do that last paragraph.
Okay. Joe gaped.
Well, if that doesn't beat everything.
Unknown to him, however, the Hardys would soon be challenged by an even more baffling case. The mark on the door.
Anyway,
Chet said, sighing and relishing the prospect of a Titanic meal.
One thing's sure about this mystery. There was an awful lot afoot.
The others laughed heartily. From exhaustion? I don't know.
I was like, that's barely a joke, Chet.
I gotta say that I was so exhausted.
Because footprints.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I was so exhausted by the pace of the story and the convoluted nature of the narrative that I didn't get that joke.
Yeah, I didn't either, actually. I literally wrote not a joke.
I was like, what the hell are you talking? Oh,
and then I was like, oh, footprints.
The huelas.
Yeah. So we both got duped by that. That's not on Chet. That's on us.
That's on us for not getting the joke.
Yeah, totally. Getting the footprints off a lot afoot.
All right. Well, that was a rip-roaring Hardy Boys adventure.
Oh, my God.
I think what's so exciting is that we talked about how in previous books they clearly have ideas they think are cool, but then they don't flesh them out as
really
much as they
get
want.
there. Yeah.
So in the next book, it seems like, and Missy Moore is going to be our guest on our next episode.
That's exciting.
So please come in.
Yeah.
And please make sure to listen to that one.
Yeah.
But it takes place, it seems, almost entirely south of the border.
Are you picking that up just from the cover?
Well, and the description of the story, but then again, it's like they might spend the last 30 pages. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well,
I wouldn't get your hopes up.
I will not. So that was book 12 of the Hardy Boys Mystery Series. That was The Footprints Under the Window.
It was fun, man.
It was
really
fun.
Was.
Yeah. Much. I loved all the stuff in South America. Mm-hmm. It was really cool.
I feel like, I mean, it's a little sad that it took 12 books, but I do feel like Dixon's hitting his stride.
Yes.
With this series.
I felt that way in book 5 when they went to Montana.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
There was another, What Happened at Midnight.
Yeah, that was a good one. With multiple midnights and everything.
Yeah.
That was
It's like he's learning how to write books.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't have that. I know when you had Josh Hartwell on, that whole thing that happens where you're like, oh well, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z.
We're gonna go to California. No, we're not.
No, I don't want him to go to California, so I'm gonna have him not go to California.
Right. Yeah, it was different. This was was more of a team.
It has a through narrative.
What it seemed to me was that this was a storyline that was not written for the Hardy Boys.
Yeah,
I felt like somebody wrote
just like an adventure story,
a mystery story, like a Graham Greene style, or maybe more of like
L. Ron Hubbard.
I was going to say more like a 1970s Ira Levin sort of story.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, it seemed like there was a story written where it was about human trafficking and a refugee plot and a big shipping magnet and then revolutionaries in South America.
It's like Louis L'Amour decided to get away from westerns for a minute.
Right. And then all of a sudden they were told like, oh, what we're going to do, this is a 170-page Hardy Boys book.
Oh.
And they tried to cram as much of the story from that. But it just felt like it was a higher level mystery.
Uh-huh. Do you feel like with all the Jack Wayne stuff, they're still trying to interject their airplane stuff?
I think
where, like,
so.
One of the where like Dixon was like, okay, like I know it's been like 3 airplane books, but there was this
could they just get up? Could they get up in an airplane?
Like there's this one cool airplane thing that I didn't get to squeeze in the last one,
where they see a shipwreck from an airplane.
Yeah, so like I'm just gonna do one more little airplane thing.
I don't know. We'll see. I bet they write an airplane.
I tell you what, as long as Jack Wayne is around to fly the damn thing,
it feels like a backdoor pilot.
Yeah.
Where you're watching an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and all of a sudden there's a whole episode about how Sabrina's cousin has to go to a school for wayward witches.
Yeah.
And like the gym teacher's a dog, and like
the
guy from The Nanny is the principal, and you're like, this is a pilot.
This is way too specific.
They're trying to
saw
set
this
up.
episode recently, did you?
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
But they're trying to set up a new show.
Yeah, totally. Like this is like a soft pilot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like The Law and Harry McGraw, which came out of Murder She Wrote. Check out Murder She Joked on YouTube.
I was about to, because I know that I assume
right. We got to do plugs. We got to do some plugs.
You're asking me if I got anything to plug.
Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, of course I have stuff to plug. I always have stuff.
Yeah, of course. What you got going
on? Siren Song is still continuing.
I do know about Siren Song.
We're in season 2 of Siren Song.
Brand new show every single month.
Mm-hmm. It's a great, and it's all ages. It's great for families. Please bring your kids. That's really who we do this for.
Also, keep your eyes peeled, and I will keep you posted. We have a great show coming up with the Symphony.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a great.
I was going to plug that as well. I feel like this show is really growing and improving the more that we've done it. We've decided that we're going to bring it to a close in May.
Yeah, that's going to be our series finale.
Yeah, so please come and see it because we're really proud of it.
Okay. Well, that was so much fun.
The Hardy Boys Drinkbook is a part of their network. It is produced by Jack and Charles Wefso. Our music is provided by Danny Overby, and our graphic design and photography is done by Kristen Hallstrom. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, or you can reach us at thehardyboysdrinkbook@gmail.com. Tune in next time for the Hardy Boys Drinkbook number 13, The Mark on the Door, featuring Missy Moore.